Hey folks, it's us, podcasting wonderkins John Bishop and Lucas Southworth.
Although this is a podcast about cars, it is not age appropriate for the target demographic of these films, as we usually end up talking about the reproductive organs of Lightning McQueen.
Alright, now let's take a look under the hood. Hello, I'm Lucas Southworth.
And I'm John Bishop.
And welcome to The Chat.
The only podcast brave enough to ask the question.
Hey, what's up with cars?
So, this week's episode is gonna be all about entertainment.
Enter-Train-ment.
There you go.
We got it. We got
it in one.
Yep.
That's why they call you one take Lenny. I don't know why they call you Lenny, though. That one's weird.
I couldn't tell you either. Of course, we are experts on entertainment. We prove that to you week after week. So this one, unlike, sports or fashion I haven't edited last week's language and culture, but I can't imagine we sounded like experts on that either.
I'm sure we did. We know all about language and culture, specifically English and American culture.
There it is. But this one's gonna be different. We are in. I'm sorry, I can't say the words. We are in the entertainment industry with a straight face.
But can you say it with a straight voice?
No, I just proved.
No,
I've proven that I can't already.
Well, we are in. You know what? It's harder than you'd think.
I'm telling you, man.
We are in the entertainment industry. In a sense. Actually, are we? We don't make money yet.
They don't need to know that. Shh.
No, we don't make money, period.
Yeah.
Our jobs are for fun.
You could call it that if you wanted to. I'd say we have snuck we have cut a tiny little hole. It's like your first house you make in Minecraft. Your first night in Minecraft.
Your first dirt hut. Yeah,
we've punched a hole in a hill in the entertainment industry, and we're hoping that, no creepers come and blow us up.
Oh, they're gonna, though. You know they're gonna.
Most likely.
Speaking of Minecraft, cars.
Ooh.
They can't play video games. And you want to know why? Lucas, do you want to know why they can't play video games?
I bet you're going to tell me no matter what I say.
Because they don't have hands.
They really don't, John.
So cars don't have hands. So how do they play video games? I don't know. Video games are fun. How do you play video games with no hands?
Do we know they have video games?
Yes.
Okay. How do we know that?
Because we have seen a video game. It's not described as a video game, and they don't treat it like a video game, but it's a video game. Do you want to know what that video game is?
The simulator?
It's the simulator.
Yep. Okay.
So there's a video game. You want to know what that video game is? It's a racing game.
Yeah.
It's the only game that I can recall.
I'm sure we can, for the sake of at least this episode where we want to discuss the funny image of cars trying to use their giant inaccurate wheels to play video games. We can assume they have other video games, and it's not like a glaring omission that they haven't mentioned much about video games.
Are you sure though? Because video games, they're video games. That's like a big part of all culture in general.
Yeah, it's not small, especially, the kids love that Fortnite game, I hear.
Do you want to know a fun fact for the day?
Yes.
Fun fact of the day.
There we go.
This is a really weird way to do the fun fact of the day. But fun fact of the day. When we began that conversation, I clicked on an article about video games. Specifically video games about racing and cars. Do you want to know how long it took me to scroll down to the bottom of that list?
Until you said, do you want a fun fact?
Yep.
Wow.
There are so many racing games.
Yeah, it's not an unpopular genre, Johnny.
See, what I was hoping to get, just a number of how many like racing or video games about cars in general there are. I didn't get that number, but I did get a list that is massive.
Ooh, I can do a fun fact vis-a-vis racing video games.
Give me that fun fact.
First, I want you to guess how many cars-based video games do you think I own right now?
How many cars-based video games do you own?
Yes, being, of course, the Cars universe.
6.
If only. Let's see. I counted the other day. I am almost certain it's up to 13.
What?
They're so cheap at half price, John. I can't.
No, Lucas. That wasn't about you owning them and buying them.
That there are that many?
There are that many of them?
To be fair, I do own 3 different copies of the Cars 1 video game tie-in just on the Game Boy Advance, the Nintendo DS, and the GameCube. Maybe also the Wii?
So I was very confused and worried because I was under the impression that you had like just some of the games, and that some of the game, like some percentage, like I assumed you didn't have more than like 60 to 70% of all of the video games I had, but you just got copies of the same few video games, right? So like you don't have like a good 10 different video games, do you?
I actually, John, this is true. I'm not saying this to be funny on our podcast. I've made a spreadsheet of the Cars video games I have and do not have. So let me see if I can pull that up for some good humor, some good spreadsheet humor.
Ah, yes, spreadsheet humor, the best kind of humor.
Looks like when I created this spreadsheet, there are 10 different Cars video games, and that's counting the various browser games on the Pixar website.
Good.
And again, I own 3 to 4 of, 3 to 4 copies of the same game, which is one of the reasons I have so many.
Okay.
I also have a Cars board game
Yep.
that we have played together. Cars 3 Surprise Slides. It's very bad. Don't get it.
It's Chutes and Ladders, but worse.
Chutes and Ladders, but you can terraform?
Yep. Chutes and Ladders, but the cars have the ability to terraform for some reason. Also your cars.
But yeah, I've played 3 or 4 of them. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are very bad.
Cars 2 was a game that I loved so much that I was heartbroken when someone just didn't give it back. So, true science fact, Lucas ended up getting me Cars 2 as a gift.
It's true. I'm a good friend. That's your fun fact.
That means Lucas has purchased probably at least 14 Cars games.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, huh? Okay.
And if we're just counting games in general, 15 because of the board game.
Oh, I didn't put down Planes video games on my spreadsheet, and I do own 2 Planes video games. But that was counted in my 13.
Okay.
The 13 that I own. So there are more than 10.
Okay, so in the MCU, the multi-Cars universe,
the Carsverse, yes,
you own 13 games, but only 11 Cars games.
Yes, that sums it up. So I don't know. We may do an episode on that at some point. I haven't figured out how to do an episode on Cars video games for a podcast yet, so stay tuned for that.
I think we do a live stream because that's just the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right.
Anyway, how do cars play video games, John, besides the simulator? We'll get back to the simulator, but how do they do it without the simulator?
Lucas, I don't know. They don't have hands.
They certainly don't.
They don't have hands. Okay, so the only people I could imagine playing video games within reason would be forklifts, because they have magical forklift hands that function as hands, even though they don't function as hands because they're just 2 chopsticks that they poke things with. But yep, I guess they could maybe play video games if they can play the guitar.
Yeah, if they can play the guitar, and as I always like to bring up because it was weird, the steel guitar as well. Uh, they can certainly have the hand-eye coordination to hold a controller and move a joystick. But
Yep.
I guess
They can perform surgery on each other with their forklift hands, so I guess they can play video games.
I guess they could also use like voice commands.
Lucas, I'm going to sidetrack. Do you want to hear another fun fact?
John, I would love that more than anything.
Let's make this a game again. You guess. How many copies of the original Cars game do you think were sold?
Man, I don't even have any sort of metric for that. 13 million.
Ooh, you overshot it. It's over 8 million copies.
So we don't know that I overshot it.
Actually, this is all according to Wikipedia. It says, in total, the game sold over more than 8 million copies as of May 2007. So, who knows? Maybe it just kept selling at an absurd rate.
I mean, I bought 4, but those were all resales, so I don't think it counts towards that number.
I would hope not. Oh boy. Okay. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, I can't think of the name of the game that I'm thinking of.
Sure.
There's a game that I'm trying to think of the name of, but I can't because it's important that I think of it because it's a video game. It was a very early video game, and it was a text-based video game.
Oh, shoot. I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay.
I'm going to say the name that I have thought of, and I hope it doesn't prevent you from ever being able to think of the actual name, but I thought of Zorn?
That sounds right. I'm looking up early text-based games. Dungeon was one of the
Zork.
Zork, yes.
Yes, it's Zork.
Mm-hmm.
I was one letter off. Okay, so Zork. I feel like Cars could just speak to their computers and play Zork, which is I guess just D&D at that point.
Yeah, with the computer-controlled DM there, but I mean, I think that's super doable.
So, do we think that's every video game they play? Do they only play Zork?
I think it could be either Zork, and I said we'd get back to the simulator. I think they could have more simulator type games that are basically, VR for us.
It's all gotta be VR. Like, even in that the very same movie, they had 3 people wearing
VR headsets. Yes.
They're testing out VR, and it wasn't going all that well.
But I feel like they could just put, like, especially if they're two-wheel drive, they could put their like back 2 wheels in like some contraption that lifts them off the ground and maybe tracks how fast they're going.
Lucas, you have inspired me. DDR.
Well, that's not really where I was going, but that's you're right that's a funnier image.
That's every video game for them. It's just a pad that they have like 4 buttons to press, and they just keep jumping from button to button.
I mean, yeah, I'm not sure how quickly they could do it.
All right, imagine Guitar Hero.
That would be a way to have a controller.
Guitar Hero, through the fire and flames. It's a car jumping on a pad.
I don't think you'd do very well with that, man.
Man, that'd be crazy.
But let me tell you, I would pay out the nose to see that. I think in an early episode, I said I would start a Kickstarter just to see a officially animated version of Mater eating a carrot.
Yep.
This is my second thing.
So how's that first Kickstarter going for you?
Man, it hasn't raised as much as I hoped.
How much were you hoping for? Like a good 50,000?
I mean, let's see. How long do you think it would take?
I mean, the assets are all there.
Yes. How long do you think it would take Mater to eat the carrot? Like a minute?
I mean, it depends on what we're talking about. Are we talking like, oh, he's like a bunny and he's just like rapid fire chewing, like grinding it out, like, oh, it took him like 2 or 3 seconds? Or are we talking about like a normal person who just happens to be eating a carrot? Because it's like casual carrot eating.
Yeah, I just want a casual scene of it. I want to see.
Ooh, that's going to take a lot longer.
How Mater in his day-to-day life would eat a carrot. But like that's all he's doing. He's not distracted. He's just like, I'm going to eat this carrot, but like I'm not gonna.
I mean, like I feel like he'd be watching TV, or speaking of which, TV, man, there are cameras for sure. Yeah. There's like sports podcasts for sure. But like,
John, I'm so glad you brought up that.
Okay.
Because that's just the perfect segue into the I forgot to come up with a joke name for the wiki quote of the day.
All right, give me this quote of the Wikipedia today.
Yes. First of all, I was on worldofcarsdriving.fandom.com/wiki/racing_sports_network. And just, I don't know, some of their cameramen have very strange names. Such as, let's see, we've got Nelson Blind Spot,
Oh no.
who, I don't know, if that's his name, that's unfortunate. If that's a nickname, I'm not sure he's who you want as a cameraman.
He's very bad at noticing what he should be looking at.
Yes. We've got Chuck Choke Cables, which
Chuck
I think Choke is his
Cables.
nickname. Yes, Chuck Choke Cables, which is hard to say, and that's fun. Kathy Copter, who I haven't clicked through to her wiki page, so let me just confirm. She is a helicopter.
Would hope so. Would very much hope so.
And my favorite of the names is Samuel Studs McGirdle.
Samuel.
Because that's just
Studs McGirdle.
Yeah, it's just a silly name, and I like it a lot.
What is Samuel Studs McGirdle?
Well, first, his wiki entry is just labeled McGirdle, which is pretty good. But I don't know, he's just like a minivan with a camera using cars. First one.
Okay.
But my specific quote, that's right, I've got more.
Yep.
Comes from World of Cars. worldofcarsdriving.fandom.com/wiki/Chuck_cables. That's right, we're going back to Chuck Choke Cables. And let's see, under model, it says, according to Car Finder, Chuck is a Pablo Loco lug nutter. Which, if you weren't sure, I could have said Chuck is a hooba gabba deeba boba, because those are two nonsense words.
Are we positive that a lug nutter's not a thing?
Pablo Loco has its own entry. It's apparently a fake, like, brand of car that they've made, like a fake car company. But what I like is that Pixar was like, okay, let's look around. We've got like Chevrolet and GMC and Hyundai. What's a name that sort of sounds like that? I've got it. Pablo Loco.
Pablo Loco.
And then past that, they were like, okay, and then we got to get like Camry, Santa Fe, Tahoe. I've got it again, lug nutter.
Yeah.
No one will blink an eye at that. They'll say, oh yeah, that's Pablo Loco lug nutter. I see 5 of those on my drive to work each morning. It's a type of van.
A lug nutter. Is it? So it's not based on anything? It's just a lug nutter because, lug nuts are a thing cars have?
Yeah, as far as I can tell, and as far on the Pablo Loco wiki page, there are only 3 examples of Pablo Locos.
So there's multiple.
They're all
multiple Pablo Locos.
Yes, Dexter Hoover is a Pablo Loco compact pickup. Chris Revstopski is a Pablo Loco 4-cylinder compact pickup. And, of course, Chuck Choke Cables is our only example of a Pablo Loco lug nutter. So, that's fun.
Yeah.
There are, I'm certain, yes, I've clicked on the car companies. There are lots of silly fake car company names, but this is the first one I've run into. So, it's the one you guys got to hear about. There are lots of real ones. Why not make... Whatever. I'm going to get worked up. But why not make them a real car? You make so many other cars real cars.
Because
so just
they need...
Make Chuck Choke Cables a real car.
They need their own... I don't know what I'm going to say. Their own content, but like brand. Do they though?
I don't.
They don't.
Yeah, I don't know that they do, Johnny.
They really don't. Okay, that's fair. So back to Mater
that
eating a carrot.
The thing, yeah.
Back to Mater eating a carrot. Okay, so like he's gonna dangle the carrot in front of his own face with his own towing cable, of course.
Yes, we're in agreement about that.
And then he's just gonna like chew on it. Is that gonna distract him if he's like watching a movie? Do you think he can like swing it around, like one of those beer hats where he's like sipping it and the straws on the side. Do you think he can like control the cord with that much dexterity?
I don't think.
Or is he gonna have to like toss it?
Yeah, I don't think he could make it rigid. He couldn't make it like permanently curve around there. But I think he could swing it and then catch it in his mouth and just sort of keep it there until the carrot's done.
Okay. But like with a carrot, you take a bite,
Sure.
and then you bring it down to wherever you're holding your carrot. You don't just like hold it there. But also like if you're a car, don't you hold it there? Because like you just swinging your carrot around with your slightly hard to control, just vestigial hook.
I mean, I guess. I don't know, man.
Long story short,
Yes.
3 minutes. It's going to take him 3 minutes to eat that carrot.
Okay, so it seems like we're also going to need a bit to budget in like a research and development team to really sort of crunch the numbers, figure out the science of how he would do this.
Lucas, we don't need a budget for that. You and
we
I,
are the
can do
R&D
this.
team. Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna engineer a rig where I have a weird vestigial hook attached to the back of my head via some sort of hat, and then I'm gonna eat a carrot while like casually watching a film. I'm just gonna swing it there until I get used to it, like Rogelio does the tail in the last season of Jane the Virgin. And then once I'm completely used to it, once it's completely natural, once that is a part of my body, then we will record times. How long does it take me to eat a carrot casually?
All right. Okay. Long story short, our goal is $50 million. So if you can make a pledge today.
I guess this is going to be a very, very well done, like 15-minute sketch that only has him eating the carrot in the middle of it, but like has a lot of prep work. He's gonna wash the carrot.
Absolutely.
He's gonna.
No.
He's not. It's just gonna be 15 minutes of him eating a carrot.
3 minutes. We've decided.
Lucas, I do not know how we're gonna spend $50 million on 3 minutes of him eating a carrot.
Hey man, whatever is left over goes to R&D.
See, the problem is if he's eating the carrot for 3 minutes, it's just him eating the carrot, and it's just that, like it's a static shot. He'll just be sitting there eating the carrot.
We're in agreement.
We won't need any money devoted to like more than one background, and the animation is going to be very simple because it's going to be like 15 seconds looped over and over again. I mean, I guess we can intentionally make it different every single time, but like I'm sure we could like share assets, but even if we don't, $50 million.
John, I always say if you're going to do something, do it right. And we're going to do this right.
All right, so you heard it here. We're asking for $50 million, $49 million of which is going to research and development.
Mm-hmm. You can log on to www.kickstarter.com/fake-kickstarter and donate, please. We're going to need it.
www.kickstarter.com/fake-kickstarter/the all one word, but you have to spell out all one word, and also you have to spell out the explanation, and even that explanation, and this one .net.
And that's the end of the web address. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I always forget that part. Thank you.
Yep.
We were going to talk about television.
Okay, so television. What do they find entertaining? Because all we know is that they like sports, and they don't like sports. They like a sport. They like racing. They have shows about racing. What else do they like?
I think we can go ahead and throw in at least like a small cult following for the demolition derby scene, because people in Cars 3 were real into that, at least the ones who were there. So
yeah, but I would still put that under the umbrella of like it's sport. It's probably kind of racing.
It's still sports.
But like
I don't know.
What else? Like, do they like docudramas? Do they like comedies?
I would pretty much assume that there are analogs to like all of our different genres for the cars. I don't see why there wouldn't be.
Because what would that be? How would you make Transformers the action movie in any way? Not even just fact Not even just the fact that it's cars that would be transforming into cars, but also, like, isn't that just, like, oh, it's just, it's aliens, but they're cars, and those cars are, I don't know, racing, but also, like, explosions? It's just the same thing. It's just, no matter what it is, all you're doing is either watching a car drive or not drive, or a boat sail or not sail. And you can have words,
I,
but that's it. So basically, everything is just radio or racing or
I don't know, man.
podcasts.
There are definitely podcasts, but we've seen what a spy film would be in Cars 2 because Cars 2 is basically a spy film. Uh, so like if that's their reality,
Lucas,
then I think
Lucas,
they could just get wackier.
What was that? What was that spy film centered around?
Mater the tow truck and his
It
hijinks.
was centered around racing,
Yes, but it doesn't have to be.
but I think it might. I think that's like their
Why?
only
I
thing.
don't see.
Lucas, what video games have we seen?
I'm not sure I agree the simulator is a video game, but
It's a video game about racing. What?
it's a training tool.
Yeah, but it's the only video game we've got, and it's about racing.
And I will give you that the VR headsets were also in the context of training for racing.
Yep.
So you've got that as well.
And like everything else is about racing.
Like we're in agreement that this is a society like weirdly obsessed with racing. Not that weirdly they're sentient vehicles, but like still much more obsessed with racing than I would say, our society is with anything.
Okay, pitch me a sitcom that is in the Carsverse that is Cars. Just car. It's like Friends. Just go for Friends. Describe Friends, but Cars.
Well, I think I don't know, man. I think day to day life of the cars, they would come in, the door would always be unlocked, the garage door, I don't know. And one of them would like to pick up women, and he was stupid. And that's funny. And two of them secretly got together, and one of them has a brother who's not a good person. Uh, and one of them's weird, and one of them is Rachel. Uh,
Okay.
and they have a fun dynamic, and it's their day to day life, but it's silly and wacky.
Yeah, but what is their day to day life?
Well, they almost never show them at their jobs, so we don't have to worry about what are car jobs.
There are plenty of scenes in their jobs, and there are plenty of scenes like where they're talking about their jobs. So what are their jobs?
Well, there.
What do any of the cars in Cars Friends do?
Well, we have discussed there are dinosaurs in the Cars universe, so Car Ross would still be a paleontologist.
Okay, he's some sort of excavator, maybe, who, like, that is just what he is, and he doesn't need to excavate. He just studies.
Yes.
Sure, I'll give you Dino Trucks Ross paleontologist.
Let's see. Can I actually remember what all of these people do? Phoebe is a masseuse. That's how you say that word.
She is a masseuse and also a performer, so she would have to be a
Yes,
forklift,
which would work for her being a masseuse as well.
Yep.
We've seen that they can feel pain and they can feel tense. So I don't know. She would somehow work that out with her forklift hands. No one knows what Chandler does,
Okay.
so that one's free.
Does finances.
Which exist. And then
What he does with those finances? I don't know.
he gets into
But
like
also,
marketing in the late
Lucas,
seasons.
what did you just say? What did you just say?
I couldn't tell
Did
you.
you say which exists?
Finances, yeah.
Because
They do.
does it though?
Yes.
Do they though?
Yes.
But like, do they?
Yes,
There are wealthy people.
John,
There are decrepit, dying people. People buy and sell things. But with what?
Cruz Ramirez.
We never decided that there was actual, like, money. She said pennies.
You never decided there was money. I did because there's plenty of evidence that there's money.
She says pennies.
Which
That's it.
implies
it.
that the rest of it exists. Because why would she know what pennies are if she doesn't know what dimes, nickels, quarters, and dollars are.
Lucas, how does she hold the penny?
I'm not saying that they are small copper coins. I'm saying that, I don't know, maybe it's all digital. Maybe it's all in the cloud.
It's all Bitcoin.
Well, no.
It's all car coin.
It's all like Apple Pay and debit cards, I would say, is a more
boy.
accurate thing. It's all stored in like Hamilton, Cruise's weird assistant.
So race cars just, they don't have money?
They have assistants with money. I don't know, man.
Because they don't have phones. Race cars don't have phones.
I know, man. Rachel works at a restaurant. We've seen those exists. And then she gets into fashion, which, I don't know, paint jobs.
She works at a coffee shop?
Yeah, so she works at like an oil shop.
Okay, and then she works with clothes?
Yeah, she gets into...
Because clothes aren't a thing.
So she's doing like paint job or something. This works, man. It doesn't...
Does it, though?
Yes! I am going through all the characters in Friends for no reason.
Do you know what her job really was, though? Because it wasn't...
She was like...
giving people clothes or making clothes.
She was an assistant, and then she became like management of a fashion company.
Yes, she would tell people how to dress.
Sure.
And then, like, would be involved in the process in more and more managerial ways. But we already decided that job belongs solely to the painter. Everything about that is the painter. The painter is the barber. The painter is the dresser. They decide your clothes. They do all that. So I don't think Rachel would have ended up doing that. She couldn't have been a fashion lady.
Yeah, but there are also like spoilers and different kinds of neon. And like there are things, and she could tell them like what to go request from the paint job person, or like be at the forefront of like what's in style for paint jobs and neon and spoilers and mufflers and fire that comes out of them. I've lost the plot a little bit, but it works.
As much as I want to fight you on this, I don't know nearly enough about like what people in the fashion industry actually do to like know what to say. So
we've proven that.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, and then Monica clearly is just going to be a chef still.
And Joey's an actor, which I am doing right now, proving that they could have television shows. We have seen commercials, so they have commercials. Movies, I'm sure they have mentioned some sort of television show or movie. We are just too stupid to have noticed it or remember it.
I'm pretty sure they mention a drive-in.
Well, yeah.
Which all theaters would have to be. All theaters would have to be a drive-in.
Mac watches like a bunch of Pixar movies that have been carified. I could have just said that. I'm so stupid. Okay.
Yeah, I've kind of been like really hoping you just wouldn't think about that.
Gosh, I'm mad. Okay.
I just wanted to make you do Friends but Cars.
And then who's the sad guy who works in the coffee shop? His name starts with a G.
Gunter?
Yes, he's there.
Yeah.
He's one of the plane cars. No, I'm gonna say it's just Gunter. It's a human person.
Just a regular human person, Gunter.
Yes. Really brings in the crowds because people are like, hey, what's happening? This show's crazy. He's only in some of the episodes, and he's in love with Rachel.
Yes, that too.
Which is weird and fun. I would watch Car Friends.
Would you, though? Because it'd be real, like, homophobic.
No, yeah.
Because, like...
And, man, I would still hate Excavator Ross a lot.
Yeah. See...
I don't hate Ross, but he's not a good character. That's not what our podcast is about.
See, the weird thing about Ross is he's, like, equal parts a really... Like, he's really good and really terrible. And it's very upsetting. Because he's like...
Yeah, he never lives in just, like, a nice, comfortable middle ground.
He found out that Phoebe didn't know how to ride a bike, or didn't have a bike, or something along those lines. So he just goes out and buys his friend a bike just because he was sad that she never got that experience, which is real sweet. But then also, like, he tried to sleep with, like, his cousin.
He certainly did.
Just because she had the crazy idea of spending some time with a family member that she wanted to get to know.
And I mean, it was also just because Ross was like, man, my cousin got hot. should I do this? And everyone was like, obviously, no. She's your cousin, Ross. He also freaks
Yeah.
out because his son likes a Barbie. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like Ross that
But then
much.
you get great moments like the holiday armadillo.
And I am with you that he has some like really shining, like, oh wow, Ross could be a good, cool character,
But then he just...
but then he's not.
Yeah. Then he gets psychotic breaks where he, like, nearly kills a coworker for eating a sandwich.
He certainly
Which
does.
you shout at your boss repeatedly over a sandwich they ate? You can't do that.
Yeah, like bring it up and say like, hey man, that was mine. Don't do that. But like, do it and he's your boss. Anyway, this has been our friends podcast. It's let's see, Central Pod. That's okay. I'm sure that's a podcast that exists, honestly.
So, music. They play
Yes.
they play instruments, which no. No, but I guess they do. They play instruments. So music is a thing.
They
I
certainly
guess
do.
that's a way they get entertainment. But like they don't really mention concerts or like famous celebrities who play music because their only real celebrities are racers, which okay, fine. But like
How do you think they listen to music? Specifically, do you think that what I'm trying to get to? Do you think they have some form of radio built into them, like cars do?
I mean, race cars don't.
But what race cars
'Cause
do have?
race cars don't have phones.
Yes, certainly. What race cars do have is some sort of communication device built into them, I assume, for their crew chief.
Yeah.
So like,
Or their crew chief is just very loud.
well, the crew chief wears a
Like,
headset.
The crew chief wears the headset,
So why?
but like it's just blaring onto the racetrack.
I would watch NASCAR if that happened. But why do they have to wear a headset? Because like Lightning talks back to them, so it's a two-way radio. Why don't they just build it into their crew chief too?
Because nothing in these movies makes sense, Lucas.
I think the real answer is because the image of a car wearing a giant headset for some sort of clear comm communication is, I don't know, pretty funny.
Too good to pass up.
I mean, I don't know. I enjoy seeing Doc wear his giant headset.
Absolutely. It's definitely, it makes the movie better. So like, do they get Spotify, I guess, Pandora, but just blared directly into their ears?
Yeah, I guess it just gets beamed into their brain.
Man, I wish I could do that.
Honestly, yeah.
Did you know that there are like speakers that are designed to be just they transmit sound via vibration in your mouth?
Yeah, the teeth tunes. That's not what they're called. The coolest toothbrushes in the world.
I'm not even talking about that. Like, I found out about this in elementary school, and it was just the most wild thing ever. It's like a weird Bluetooth device that is a tooth that you get implanted. And the way you hear music is it vibrates through your jaw, and it's a tooth that you have a dentist put in your mouth permanently. I don't know how you charge it.
I mean, I couldn't tell you. But I guess the cars could have something like that built into them that like just feeds directly into their hearing device. Yeah, they don't have ears.
It could be a tooth.
Yeah, and I mean, several of them have antenna. I'm sure the racers don't, because like obvious aerodynamic issues. But I did look it up. They are in fact called tooth tunes, musical toothbrush.
Oh, good.
I had the Rock and Roll All Night one when I was a kid. I felt like the coolest person in the world when I was like, man, I'm listening to Kiss, and when it's been a minute, that means I'm supposed to go to my bottom teeth. And it like, I don't know, it did something to tell me.
You know, I've kind of always thought of it as you do a minute on the right and a minute on the left, which is weird.
Yeah, it's harder to...
Yeah.
It's weird to like right at the middle only brush like your left front tooth.
Well, like my toothbrush now, it vibrates every 30 seconds, so I do left top half.
You got quadrants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the division works out for me either way, but still, like,
Yeah.
for some reason, it's always, you go right and then left instead of top and bottom, which, like, I feel like I do both, but I don't know. Tooth tunes, man, those are wild.
Yeah. So cars all have tooth tunes built into them.
For sure.
If they, I think it would just work the same as like it works here. Like if there's the ones that have antenna could listen to the radio. I'm sure there are radio towers.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have, data or Wi-Fi, they could listen to something like Spotify or Pandora or just YouTube or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it would work. It's just weird that they get music beamed into their brains with a toothbrush that's built into them.
Is it, or is it weird that we don't?
I'm not sure about weird. I sure wish we did.
It's 2019, Lucas. It's 2019.
What's a guy got to do to get a toothbrush inserted into his brain in the year 2019,
The whole toothbrush. I don't want to have to brush my own teeth. I want them to just have the brush there.
Yeah. When we get a candidate who makes that promise, maybe then I'll get excited,
Yeah. Okay.
It'll be like a JFK promising that we're going to get to the moon by the end of the end of the decade, and someone will just say, well, we're all gonna have toothbrushes in our brains by 2025. I'd vote for him just to see what happened.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, if he runs, that should be his platform.
We're his campaign managers. We've already proven that we know how to make a platform.
Because if there's anyone who knows a toothbrush, it's him. Have you seen them pearly whites? His beautiful smile.
He's got a nice smile. He's got a lovely smile. I will give you that.
That man knows how to take care of himself. Oh boy.
Certainly. I will not deny that for a second.
Lucas, do you want to know the tragic thing about this episode that we've been recording?
Yes?
I've been looking for a good opportunity to bring up our question from Liz today, but we have not talked about sex or porn yet.
Well, gosh darn it, John.
We're talking about entertainment, and we haven't mentioned sex or porn.
I mean, it usually doesn't take us very long to do so. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
So it's been like an hour, and we haven't gotten there yet. So
let's go
weird.
there. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say the question from Liz.
I'm excited now.
Today's question or questions, because there were kind of multiple of them. First question from Liz. Car porn.
Question mark?
Yes, but the question mark was after.
I would assume.
What I mean is, I received 3 texts.
Okay.
I received the first text, car porn.
Okay, yeah.
Second text, question mark.
Yeah. I can visualize this. This is good storytelling.
Third text, do they say vroom vroom to be sexy?
Oh, gosh. Oh, man. I know we usually don't say who asks the question, but man, your wife is one of my favorite people on the planet.
Oh, Lucas, I was hoping that if I made sure that I mentioned that it was in text, that they wouldn't know, because I could text your Liz. I could text my Liz.
Nah. I'm gonna expose her for this one.
Yep. Oh boy. Yep.
Okay.
So Lucas,
we've had our laugh. Let's get down to business. Car porn? Question mark.
All right. First question. This is Disney Pixar universe creation. So the good thing about this car porn industry is that we know that it's not going to be nearly as disgusting and seedy as the real world's car porn industry.
Oh yeah, I was definitely going to bring up that I have never been more certain than in this statement that there is existing Cars universe pornography.
Oh, Rule 34.
And lots of
There's tons of Cars porn in our world. There's probably car porn in Carsverse. John Lasseter's too much of a coward to say it.
Yeah,
But for sure, someone's even offered Lightning McQueen, hey, we will give you so much money. Just be in our porn. And he said no.
Yeah.
But you know what? He considered it.
Maybe.
Do you want to know why?
If it was before If it was before the events of the first movie, maybe he said yes.
Looks, it's time for a fun fact of the day.
Again?
Did you know
Okay.
that before his career really took off,
Okay.
a Mr. Sylvester Stallone appeared in a softcore pornography?
I didn't know that. It didn't shock me.
This fun fact of the day comes to you straight from my brain because I just knew that.
Okay.
I learned that so many years ago.
One of those things just stuck with you, huh?
Yeah. It's like I can't quote anyone on that because I don't know who I learned it from, but like, yeah. Boy howdy.
Wait, have you like Googled to confirm this?
Several times.
Okay, I was about to say we can't say this without this can't be something you heard on the playground in like 3rd grade and we're like, "Ah, well, this is a true fact for the rest of your life."
I'm going to reveal something I probably shouldn't reveal. I may or may not have seen it.
Okay. Well,
definitely not all of it. But like I wanted to know if it was real. So I may have watched some of it.
You know, sort of rewinding a bit, when you said definitely, when I asked, "Are you sure this is real?" and you said, "Oh, definitely." That should have maybe clued me into that little part of this story, but no, that went right over my head.
It's one of those things where you're like, I remember this being a thing, but this can't be a thing. So you have to check on it several times. And you get to a point where like, no, I just gotta confirm this. And then you watch it and you're like, oh boy, this is real.
I mean, I don't even see it that much out of the realm of possibility of like just hanging out with, I don't know, someone, and they were like, you know, Sylvester Stallone was in a porn? And then they just would like bring it up and show me, and I'd be like, well, okay.
See,
this is what we're doing tonight, I guess.
The good thing about it is it's softcore, and I don't recall seeing any genitals. So, like, to my knowledge, softcore means that, like, there's no insertion, or at least no visible insertion or anything like that. But
you know, yeah, I'm not sure what the exact definition is.
It could mean that you don't show, like, the dangly bit, or the lady dangly bit.
The official definition is suggestive or erotic, but not explicit. So I assume, yeah, it does not show penetration.
Yeah, so
according to Urban Dictionary, it also doesn't show genitalia, but also it's Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
So you know, who knows?
So yeah, that's the good news. I haven't seen.
Yes.
I haven't seen the Italian Stallions very long schlong.
Stallion,
but I have seen the situationality.
News. Be honest with yourself.
Come on. Yeah.
What were we? Yeah, car porn.
So like it's definitely a much nicer industry, and that's comforting. I'm sure all of it's softcore because like how do you show the genitals? And if like I mean, if the genitals are the headlights, how do you not show the genitals?
Yeah.
If that's the definition, then like everything
if we wanted
is porn. Lucas, are the Cars movies just porn?
Ooh, okay. Everything would be porn. I mean, you just said that, but like...
Because you could say they're all naked all the time. So anything they do that's in any way sexual makes it porn.
I'm going to say no, because like they can't be. Because then watching...
Also, I'm exaggerating. There are plenty of R-rated movies that aren't porn. But still.
But back to your point...
Maybe they're just a very, very sexually open world, universe.
Now that I could get into. Maybe they're just, like, very sex positive.
You heard it here first, folks. Lucas could get into a car sexually.
Yep. Okay, well, that one's on me, you know? Yeah.
Or in you, if you want.
No. But we're not going to do this research because then I'd have to stop doing this podcast. But to your point of how would they even show the genitals? How would car porn work? Again,
do not give us anything. Do not show us anything. Do not send us anything.
We could see what our nation's brightest minds have come up with to figure out this little riddle, but we're not going to do that.
We know how. We know the methods. We know how to go into these dark, dark places. Don't help us.
Yeah, we are clearly choosing not to look at extant Cars pornography. Please respect that decision of ours.
We have actively made efforts not to.
Yeah.
We have chosen our words specifically when we look things up to not get those results. And we still get some uncomfortable results.
We certainly do. Yeah, it's a dangerous world.
I think I may have seen a pregnant mater.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
Okay, I've recovered. At the very least, I've repressed it.
Repressed what?
Exactly. So I'd say car porn ? Yeah, it totally exists. 110%. The internet exists in this universe. And
do they say vroom vroom to be sexy?
That's the only thing they do to be sexy.
That's the only way to be sexy. You either say their name and flash your headlights, or you say vroom vroom.
And it works 100% of the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
It works for them, and it might work for me.
I'm open. For business, I'm gonna cut that out.
So hey you, get into my car. That song. Get in my car.
The get out of my dreams, get into my car?
Yep. Get out of my dreams, get into my car. That's a very sexual song. That is like banned from radio. It is so sexual. Hey you, get inside of me is what that song is.
I mean, with the stuff today's youth is listening to, could it really be banned?
I mean, what they will allow anything on the radio these days. These millennials. Ugh.
Have you heard of this William Eyelash character?
Man, William Eyelash. This William person, they're talking about killing your friends and like putting them in the ground.
Seducing my dad? No thank you.
How dare you? He is a married man.
That was a good little bit we did. I thought that, maybe not in our top 10, but I thought it was a little solid William Eyelash goof. Won't get an animatic, but
I don't know. Maybe it will.
Yeah,
maybe it will.
John, I want to talk about Cars doing live theater now.
All right.
That'd be weird.
You common cry of cars whose exhausts I hate as reek of the rotten plains, whose AC units I prize as the rusting corpses of unburied cars.
No, go on.
Okay. Whose loves I prize as the rusting corpses of unburied men that do pollute my air.
That's pretty good.
I banish you and here remain in your uncertainty. Let every feeble rumor rattle your engines.
Okay.
I don't get it. It's been like 2 or 3 years.
What monologue was that? Was that Coriolanus?
Yeah, that's Coriolanus.
That was Coriolanus is what that was.
That's Coriolanus.
That one was very easy. Yeah, I guess it'd be a little something like that. Yeah.
Specifically Shakespeare.
Yes, Breakspear. Man, I'm on fire. That was good.
Okay.
No, I'm proud of that one.
The card? Nope.
Yeah, that's a thing. Well, we've lost it, but I don't know. Yeah, it'd be weird to see Cars doing acting on a stage. I don't know that it'd be weird in any different ways than what we've already discussed. But I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up to give you lovely people the image of that.
Yeah, you know, Lucas, I think we got to do an episode, or at least like a mini-sode, where we perform some sort of like car monologue where we actually perform it, and it's just going to be like that actual monologue but carified.
I mean, we can do that.
We'll each present one, and it'll just be like, oh, we got to do this. It's going to be terrible, and I love it.
I don't know about we've got to do this. We might. We'll talk about it.
Lucas, more content. More content.
You're right, and it would be a great chance to get our least listened to episode ever.
Or
get that out of the way.
Our best episode ever.
Yeah, we haven't done the research.
Such a great animatic. It's going to be so good.
Are we done talking about cars for the week?
I think we are. I think we've talked about
cars.
Yeah,
it certainly feels like it.
All right. Thank you for listening to the Chat. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to rate us on anything you can, unless it's a bad rating. Only good things, please.
We're bringing. That's a deep cut.
Yep.
Man, we stopped doing that.
I just want to be loved, yeah. Lucas.
Yeah, don't give us a bad rating, because that'd be mean.
I mean, you can if you feel the need to, but please don't feel the need to. Just like talk to us in private. We can fix it.
Yeah, like we have the time to talk to you if you have criticism.
Like get our phone numbers and call us. We're not going to tell you our phone numbers, but get them.
I don't even feel comfortable saying that. Don't get our phone numbers, please.
Get my phone number unless you're a telemarketer, because please, there's so many telemarketers have been calling. Just talk to me about cars.
Anyway,
you can follow us on Instagram, but not the chat, just us individually. You can follow us on Twitter.
You can. Yes, we are on Twitter, at the chat, and we've got an email address. Send us an email. Say like, oh, what about this in cars? And we would genuinely, if you have any topics for us, that would be really great. And that is thecachat@gmail.com. I don't know, tell a friend about us, and thanks so much for listening. You don't have to do it, and it's super cool that you do. And we really, really appreciate it.
And Lucas, I want to leave the listeners with a fact you shared with me just last night.
Oh, yeah. This is a pretty good one, folks.
All right. I'll let you have it.
Okay. So we just released Real Engine, in which we do, in fact, talk about car circumcision. And I just went on our YouTube analytics on a whim, because nobody listens to this on YouTube. And we had more views than we usually did, so I went into the analytics, and at least 3 of those views came from people searching the word circumcision on YouTube. So I'd like to be the first to say, welcome to the Kachat family. We're happy to have you. Anyway, I've been Lucas Southworth.
I've been John.
And until next time, don't forget to float like a Cadillac
and sting like a Beamer.
New markets. Okay.